Good morning, friends. I'm Bernard. Welcome to my channel. Today's lesson will be on the Minuet 2, piece number 14 in the Suzuki Book 1. This is the second of the minuets, the Bach Minuets that are in this book. I don't know what order Bach wrote them, but this seems like a pretty logical order. The first Minuet 1 is fairly simple, and this one gets more complicated. And the third one's even more complicated. So looking at this from a standpoint of bow technique, left-hand technique, and then dynamics, we just take it one layer at a time. Let's talk about bow. So we've got all these pieces, of course, minuets are in 3/4. I guess Bach had a particular reason when he was teaching his children, wanted them to get comfortable with this 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. We start with 6 eighth notes, and then we have 3/4. So we want to establish that rhythm. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So we want to get that nice and even so there's no rushing, dragging. You know, I hear something like this from students. We try to get that rhythm straightened out. Then in the fourth, 1, 2, 3, fifth bar, we have, so we have 2/4, 2/8, 2/4, 8, then 1/4 and 4. So very, very subtle things, and hopefully by this stage of a student's development, this becomes pretty natural. They're reading quarters, they're reading eighths, they're thinking the 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, or 1, 2, and 3, and 1, 2, 3, if we need to do that. So at the end of this first section, we have a little triplet, which I've never found to be a problem for students. They're already feeling the pulse of the rhythm. 1, 2, 3, 1. So that usually is pretty easy. Going ahead to the, and I guess I should mention this idea that we're carrying over from Minuet 1 in after the second bar, down, up, up. So we have the down, up, up. We're doing the hooked bows. Hooked bows up are usually never an issue for a student. Sometimes getting the hooks down, getting this concept of, sometimes that's a little bit challenging, but usually a little bit of practice and they'll get that. We've got in the second half, we have 2 different triplets where the difficulty with this one comes in the left hand, and we'll go through all the left hand stuff later. Another little thing in the third line of the second half. I find this is always challenging to stop the D and then just continue for the, so we're playing. So it takes a while for students to get used to that. I guess because there's a lot of stuff happening in thinking about this, that, and the next thing technique, they usually get a little flustered to be able to stop there and then continue down bow. So that's basically the bowing challenges, and you know they could be considerable depending on the student's skill level. Now, as far as the very opening, I guess I should mention that one's also slight. We have a down bow, then we have up, down, up. That first measure can be challenging for the bow. Down, up, down. We're actually changing the bows on the changing the strings on up. Just a matter of practicing. I mean, there's no real exercise for this. It's not a natural thing. Whenever possible, if I were to do this, a lot easier in third position, 2 notes over. Much easier in third position, but assuming the student has not learned third position yet, we have to play it at first, so we have to be aware of this. across the string. It's actually a very natural, when you look at it that way, down, up, across strings, and then down, up, across strings, and then down, up, across strings. So when you analyze things, sometimes you can actually see, well, it's not that difficult. If you think that the difficulty then would be playing 2 notes on the A string in a row. And hopefully none of those are a problem for the student. But, you know, when you analyze things, it's kind of interesting. Okay, let's look at the left-hand challenges. In the second line, starting in the 5th bar, we've got this. Hold the 2 down, put the 3 down. Now notice I haven't moved anything because I'm coming right back to the G. And then, at that point, I'm already releasing pressure on the 3 and I move the 2 over. As long as you keep your fingers over the string, you've got the 3 basics: straight wrist, fingers over string, crutch, you're not holding the violin. This is a fairly easy passage. Okay. In the very end of this first section, we have the triplet. Student has to remember C natural, F sharp. See how the finger just goes forward? No change in the hand position. Okay, we're going ahead now to the second half. Now we're playing a first finger E. Look at that G on the E string. Half step across strings. Just leave the first down. See if I can position that yet. So you see, right there, the first finger is helping me. The second I touch the G, I get that first finger over to the F sharp, right behind. I'll do it again. Our fingers are so fast, it's just not a problem. You know, you think, oh, there's not enough time to get across that. There is. It's quite easy. Okay, then we come to the F sharp, B. Now, as a more advanced player, we might talk about a bridge. Could be done, but in this case, this staccato, there's plenty of time to move the finger. And then, let's see where, oh yes. After we play, make sure first finger stays down, there's the G again, bring the first over. I like to play a 4th finger, get my students to practice their 4th as much as possible. Hold the first down. If you need to rotate your elbow a little bit for more strength, that's fine. Then back for the triplet. Extension. Got to be really aware. A natural, 3rd finger here. D sharp there. These kind of sort of spatial problems, very difficult for young students. And then if you're going to play 4, you've got to, maybe, you know, not all students will need to do this, but my fingers are a little bit thick. I have to move my fingers around. So, to get that D sharp, it's inflected up, a little high, and then I move it out of the way for the 4. Actually, it's not very courteous. The 4 jams itself in there. I always like to talk about students having your elbows out, right? And look at that again. Every time I'm doing that 4-3-4 here, I have to move the fingers around. And what makes it easier? I got the first finger down, stabilizing my hand. So think about that also. Then I pick the first up. All right, then we're coming along. For sure, 4th finger here. That's all fine. Yeah, I didn't mention this. It's the 5th bar, the beginning of the 5th bar is the same at the end when we have. I'm going to reach out for the 4. They have open, option, 4, whatever. Play a 4th finger. You're practicing the same technique as we did in Minuet 1, 3, 4. We As soon as the 4 is down, pick up the 3. Not before. The 3 has to stay down. There it is. And again, here's the C natural, F sharp. Okay, so now we've gone through for the techniques, the bowing and the left hand. What have we got with dynamics? The first section, apparently no dynamics to speak of at all, except the very natural diminuendo. The suggestion is that you play the opening of the second half soft, then loud, that's fine. As we're coming down a few bars later, now piano. Now let's go back forte. See, that just adds interest, adds so much interest. I could feel when we're doing dynamics, suddenly the emotional aspect comes forward with all these pieces. There's humor. There's all kinds of emotions that get stirred up when you play forte and piano. Just as simple as forte and piano. In other music, of course, there'll be, mezzo forte, mezzo piano, whatever. There's gradations. But especially in Baroque music, we do a lot of what we call terrace dynamics. Loud, soft, loud, soft. Okay, well, I think that's all I need to say about this piece. I notice it's got andantino as opposed to allegretto in Minuet 1. I don't know. Those words sometimes have meaning, sometimes they don't. In this case, it's just the way the piece goes. You just have that good feeling about the piece. So thanks for listening. If you like the video, give it a like, give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. I'd really appreciate that. So thank you so much for listening, and have a great day.